Good morning. Welcome back to yet another section of signatures expressing the self. We are going through Janis Miri Kidani's Breaking the Silence. Breaking Silence is a poem that expresses the poet's sorrow, anger, and frustration on the sufferings inflicted on the Japanese Americans in general and the poet's mother and family in particular. During the Second World War, the poet's mother and family, along with others, were caught by force and put in Ruhr concentration camp. The Japanese Americans toiled hard and improved their lands. At the outbreak of the war, the Japanese Americans were taken into custody. They were allowed to take with them only what they could carry. The government confiscated their property. All improvements they had made on land were destroyed. They were forced into signing documents giving the commissioner authority to do what he liked. They were told not to speak a word and to live in silence. The only reason why the Japanese Americans were put in concentration camps was very clear. It was none other than racial prejudice. Only the Japanese Americans were sent to the camps. Okay. Then the mother. Okay, I'm sorry. So actually all these points we already discussed in our last class. Today we are going to start from the page number 92. So all of you please take the page number 92. Okay, I hope you are ready with the page number 92. Then I think all of you remembered well. Janis Miri Kidani's mother had a lot of dreams. When she reached to a new place, she started to work hard. She reached here with her farming tools. She was waiting for the result. But one day when she woke up, he got the announcement. He heard the announcement. Actually, she was shocked. And that is why she says, we were made to believe our faces betrayed us. Our bodies were loud, with yellow screaming flesh, needing to be silenced behind barbed wire. So I told you, here we can feel the pain of racism. Here Miri Kidani feels that her mother might have been embarrassed of her heritage. But then she is describing how she felt being locked up like animals. I told you the meaning of barbed wire in our last class. I think all of you remembered well. Wire that has sharp points and that is often used for fences. So when Miri Kidani's mother broke her silence after 40 years, even she was not active in the beginning of her speech, but in her testimony. But when she started to reveal one by one of her experiences, we can see that she started to melt down just like a silver flame. I think all of you remembered all these lines. Okay, then we can move to the next stanza, page number 92. Mr. Commissioner, it seems we were singled out. from others who were under suspicion. Our neighbors were of German and Italian descent, some of whom were not citizens. It seems we were singled out. It is a monologue of Janice Miri Kidani's mother. Mr. Commissioner, it seems we were singled out. Singled out means to choose a group for special attention, especially criticism. So she reveals that Mr. Commissioner, it seems we were singled out from others who were under suspicion. Our neighbors were of German and Italian descent, some of whom were not citizens. It seems we were singled out. Her mother cannot understand why people from other countries that were fighting against the US government were not imprisoned as the Japanese Americans were. What is the reason behind it? Why Japanese American only sent to the prison? Why they are not concentrating on the other people, their neighbors? She tells the commissioner that she feels this imprisonment was unjust. Okay, so I told you that's why Janice Miri Kidani's mother used the word singled out. Her mother says that they were singled out from others who were suspected. They understood that they were singled out because their German and Italian neighbors were not incarcerated. That's why she asked to the commission why they were not imprisoned. Actually, it is unjust. Others' mother had worked class hard and with a lot of hope towards a better life. Okay, we can move to the next stanza. So I think all of you got the idea about the page number 90 to 93. I repeat again, her mother cannot understand why people from other countries that were fighting against the US government were not imprisoned as the Japanese people were. She tells the commissioner that she feels this imprisonment was unjust. Okay, then we can move to the next stanza. She had worn her work like lemon leaves, shining in her sweat, driven by her dreams that honed, that blade of her plow. The land she built, like hope, grew quietly. Irises, roses, sweet peas, opening, and then all was hushed for announcements. To be incarcerated for your own good. The sounds of her work, bolted in barracks, silenced. Okay, here lemon leaves. Actually, lemon leaves, it is the symbol of success or prosperity. Okay, then horned. Her dreams that horned. Horn means sharpen. Okay. Then I think if you know it, irises. Irises, it's already given here in your textbook. A plant with a showy flowers, typically of purple or yellow, and sword-shaped leaves. Okay, it's a flower. The next, hushed. Hushed means become quiet. Okay. So she says she had worn her work like lemon leaves, shining in her sweat, driven by her dreams that honed, the blade of her plow. The land she built like hope grew quietly, irises, roses, sweet peas, opening, and then all was hushed for announcements. I think all of you remembered the announcement. To be incarcerated for your own good. The sounds of her work bolted in barracks, silenced. Okay. So, I told you, Miri Kidani's mother had worked as hard and with a lot of hope towards a better life. I told you she had a lot of dreams. When she reached here to the new place, she was ready to work hard. Her sweat told the story of her dream, and she saw a part of herself in the growing roses and sweet peas, which were all silenced by the news of incarceration. Even she was eagerly waiting for the harvest. Every morning, with hope, she just looked at her field. But before that, one day she heard that announcement. You should leave the place immediately. So she was shocked. She became silent. Okay. So I think all of you remembered well that announcement. Then we can move to the next stanza. Mr. Commissioner, so when you tell me I must limit testimony, when you tell me my time is up, I tell you this. Pride has kept my lips pinned to my nails, my rage coffined. Okay. Then she spoke about her past. Then again, she comes back to her present. Mr. Commissioner, so when you tell me I must limit testimony, I must limit means I must stop my testimony. When you tell me my time is up, I tell you this. So we can see that here Miri Kidani's mother, she is sharing her experiences in front of the commission in 1981. Actually, she is breaking the silence after 40 years. When she started to speak one by one of her experiences, I told you, she became very active. At the moment, the commissioner already reminded her, it's time to stop. We want to listen other victims also. So your time is up. You please wind up. Like that, when she gets the instructions from the commission, she says, pride has kept my lips, pinned my nails, my rage coffined. So she reveals that I'm very proud. Actually, my pride has kept me silent. It pinned my nails. Pinned means fasten. It pinned my nails. My rage coffined. Rage means strong feeling of anger. Coffin means enclosed in a coffin. So she says, I'm very proud. Actually, my pride kept me as silent. That's why my rage coffined. So I told you, actually she says to the commissioner when she is finally asked to stop due to lack of time. I told you the commissioner reveals that you should wind up because we want to listen the other victims. So at the moment she says to the commissioner, when you ask me stop, I have to say something. I want to speak about my pride. My pride have kept me quiet all these years, all these 40 years. My reach was coffined to keep my pride. Actually, my reach was coffined. I have burned my past while I am talking to you. That's the next line says. Okay. But I exhume my past to claim this time. Exhume means remove where it is buried. So she says, I have burned my past while I am talking to you. I told you, all of you remind it well. Actually, she is revealing the experiences in the Rover concentration camp after 40 years silence. So that's why she says, my past is burned in Rover. I have burned my past while I am talking to you. But I exhume my past to claim this time. My youth is buried in Rover. Obachant's ghost visits Amache Gate. My niece haunts Tule Lake. So she says, I have burned my past while I am talking to you. But at the same time, she reveals that my youth is buried in Rover. Rover, I think all of you remembered well, Rover concentration camp in Arkansas. So she reveals that my life, my youth is buried in Rover concentration camp. She was very badly tortured in that camp. And Obachant's ghost, Obachant means her grandmother. So she says, and even we have also the same concept. If a person murders, it is not a natural death. Definitely we have the concept that his or her souls will not be free. The soul will not get the salvation. We have the concept. So that's why she says her grandmother, her relatives also, some of the relatives also died in such concentration camps. So she says, my grandmother's ghost visit Amache Gate. Amache is also another concentration camp in Arkansas. Okay, Amache Gate. So she says, my grandmother's ghost still visits Amache Gate. My niece haunts Tule Lake. Tule Lake, if you want you can note it down. The largest one and most historically significant of these camps was the Tule Lake. Now it is also another concentration camp. So she says, my niece haunts Tule Lake. So many of her relatives and her grandmother's ghost visited these concentration camps. Words are better than tears, so I spill them. Spill here means allow to flow. Words are better than tears, so I spill them. I allow to flow. When she got this idea after 40 years, okay, even I think if you remembered well, the second stanza, sarcastically her daughter Miri Kidani says, my mother's eyes become mute. That means she forgot to cry, and she became dumb and deaf. She forgot to speak. She can't move her tongue. She can't hear anything because she remained silent. But now she understood when she started started to speak in front of the commission in 1981 after 40 years of her imprisonment, incarceration. She says, words are better than tears. That's why I allow to flow the words. I kill the silence. That's why she says, from her experiences, she says, I want to kill the silence. So I repeat, my past is burned in rover. Many ghosts roam in rover concentration camp. The other Two Lake, Amache Gate, like that. The other concentration camps. I kill my silence just because I believe speaking is better than crying. Okay, speaking is better than crying. She understood it. Then we can move to the next stanza, page number 94. There are miracles that happen, she said, and everything is made visible. We see cracks and fissures in our soil. We speak of suicides and intimacies, of longings lush like wet furrows, of oceans bearing us toward imagined riches, of burning humiliations and crimes by the government, of self-hate and of love that breaks through silences. Okay. So she says, there are miracles that happen, she said, and everything is made visible. Visible means able to see. So she says, miracles, there are miracles that happen in their lives. That's why everything is very clear by the public. It is very clear to the public. We see cracks and fissures in our soil. Fissures means a narrow opening, fissures. We see cracks and fissures in our soil. We speak of suicides and intimacies. Intimacies means, yes, personal or private nature, personal nature. We speak of suicides and intimacies, of longings lush like wet furrows. Longings means strong desire for something. Strong desire for something, longing. Lush. Lush means covered with healthy green plants. Okay, I repeat again, longing means a strong desire for something. Lush means covered with healthy green plants. Then furrows means long and narrow cut in the ground. Furrows means long and narrow cut in the ground. Okay, then humiliations means make feel very ashamed. Humiliations make feel very ashamed. Okay, so there are miracles that happen, she said, and everything is made visible. We see cracks and fissures in our soil. We speak of suicides and intimacies, of longings lush like wet furrows, of oceans bearing us toward imagined riches, crimes by the of burning humiliations and crimes by the government, of self-hate and of love that breaks through silences. The poem now takes a positive turn of hope. From these lines onwards, we can see or we can feel a positive turn of hope. Mother sees that they have started speaking of everything, of suicides, intimacies, their humiliations, crimes of self-hate. I think all of you remembered well, even they started to self-hate because of their golden color. So now Japanese Americans, they are ready to speak of everything. It is visible. They are ready to speak about their suicides, intimacies, their longings, their humiliations, their self-hate, their love. All these things they are ready to speak. So we can move to the next stanza. We are lightning and justice. Our souls become transparent like glass, revealing tears for war dead sons, red ashes of Hiroshima. Okay. So she says, we are, Japanese Americans are both lightning and justice. Our souls or we are transparent like glass. Then she also revealed that we are ready to reveal the tears for war, for dead sons, because we already understood the after effects or the consequences of wars. We are the victims of wars. So that's why we are ready to reveal the tears for war, for dead sons. We are ready to react for red ashes of Hiroshima. So I think all of you remembered well the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So that's why here she says we are ready to reveal the tears for war, for dead sons, for the red ashes of Hiroshima. We can move to the next line. Jagged wounds from barbed wire. Jagged means having sharp uneven surface. We must recognize ourselves at last. We are a rainforest of color and noise. We hear everything. We are unafraid. Our language is beautiful. So she says, we now talk of our wounds from barbed wire. Barbed wire here in the concentration camp. Now they are ready to speak about how brutally they were tortured in the concentration camps. Now we are talking about our own wounds from the concentration camps. We recognize ourselves like a rainforest of color and noise. We are now unafraid to hear, to speak, and our language is beautiful. They recognize themselves. They are unafraid to hear, to speak. They already understood their language is beautiful. So here the poet shows that the Japanese people are beautiful despite the cruel treatment they received from the US government. Miri Kidani also shows that Japanese voices are worthy of being heard. So this is the poem. So I think all of you understood the poem well. Once again we can just go through the main points in the poem. Okay, we already talked in detail about Japanese Americans, how brutally they were tortured in such a concentration camps. We also cited the examples from the other poems. I think all of you remembered well one of the poems of Mein Okubo's Citizen 13,660. Okay, so today I want to summarize today's class. Okay, so I tell you even she revealed that it was none other than racial prejudice. Only the Japanese Americans were sent to the camps. Their neighbors, who were Germans and Italians, were spared. They could easily recognize the Japanese Americans from their faces and the color of their skin. Germans and Italians were citizens of America, so it could be proved beyond doubt that racial feeling was the reason behind it. It was their voice that betrayed them. It was their race, sorry, not voice, it was their race that betrayed them. The detainees were not allowed to open their mouths. They were not permitted to utter a word against the injustices they were made to suffer. The government confiscated their property. The improvements they had made in land were either stolen or destroyed. They were forced into signing documents giving the authorities told them that it was better for them to keep silence. The mother when says, "My youth is buried in Rover." I think all of you remembered that line. All her sufferings were due to the fact that she was a Japanese American. Through the poem Breaking Silence, Miri Kidani brings out the pain of racism. But at the end of this poem, the poet shows that the Japanese people are beautiful despite the cruel treatment they received from the US government. Janice Miri Kidani also shows that Japanese voices are worthy of being heard. So we can discuss the question answers in the textbook. Okay, are you ready? Page number 95. Breaking Silence focuses on the experiences of Dash when they were put into internment camps during World War II. Yes, experiences of Japanese Americans. Who is testifying against the war crimes, injustices in the poem? Who? Yes, Miri Kidani's mother. Whom is she giving the testimony to? The commission in 1981. The next question, that it is short answers. Why did she say that silence was better? What? I think all of you remembered well. She says silence was better. Have you remembered it? I told you ironically she says silence was better. Page number 91. Third stanza. Silence was better. We were told that silence was better. Golden like our skin. Okay. So we were told that silence was better. Sounds irony, because how can you feel if you cannot express your feeling? Can be a difference between what might be expected to happen and what actually occurred. But being encouraged to silence can create a loss of self-image. Miri Kidani expresses this poem that her mother, for not having a voice but silent, so during this era, with her expression of silence, leads to a brutal experience of how Japanese Americans were treated. Okay, next question. Why were the Japanese Americans made to believe that their faces betrayed them? I think all of you remembered well that line. Okay, page number 92, page number 92. You can see that we were made to believe our faces betrayed us. Okay. So Miri Kidani states how she felt about her race and the color of her skin. I think all of you remembered well about their skin color, golden color. She says we were made to believe our faces betrayed us. Miri Kidani feels that her mother might have been embarrassed of her heritage. She felt being locked up like animals. Miri Kidani concentrates on her mother's pain, how she grew up, with that pain and what it all represents. She writes expressing the political agenda, speaks out against people of color, violence and containment her mother went through. Maybe because they were easily identifiable as being Asian, so they felt more racial hatred. Okay. Then we can move to the next question. My youth is buried in Rover. Okay, my youth is buried in Rover. I think all of you remembered well the line, page number 94. Okay, actually the beginning itself, almost 6th or 7th line. The mother when says, my youth is buried in Rowan, all her sufferings were due to the fact that she was a Japanese American. Through the poem, Miri Kidani brings out the pain of racism. And even she says actually she had a lot of dreams. Because of those dreams, she worked hard. She was ready to work hard, but she couldn't get the harvest. Before that, she woke up by hearing the announcement. She was very brutally tortured in the concentration camp. Okay, so all these things happening because of the racial discrimination. How does the poet end the poem? Okay, how does the poet end the poem? The poet shows that the Japanese people are beautiful despite the cruel treatment they received from the US government. Miri Kidani also shows that Japanese voices are worthy of being heard. Okay, so I think all of you understood the poem well. So please go through the textbook very well. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.